Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Orlando, and we have a crazy landlord, guys. A crazy landlord trying to get into a tenant unit. Guys, we can learn a lot from this one. Let's jump into it.
Look, I can't imagine. I've never lived somewhere after I'm not paying rent. You're the one. You're the one. You're living here illegally.
Woo! It's starting off spicy, huh? Well, have you guys ever seen that movie, The Shining? This guy is doing the impersonation of The Shining.
Here's Johnny.
But with with the tenant on the other side, man, I tell you. But let me tell you what, guys. We see this guy starting to hack at this door that he's mad about because I'm guessing the tenant didn't pay him his rent. Let me tell you what, guys. As a landlord, don't follow this guy. Don't go in hacking away, tearing down the door, breaching whatever laws that are in place to protect tenants from this type of behavior. I understand she didn't pay you your rent, but you shouldn't go kicking in someone's doors. Let me tell you what, landlords and property owners, you go doing this, and this is how you end up getting shot or getting hurt or someone getting hurt in this whole entire process. Let's jump back into it.
No, this one was put up without permission. It's illegal. No. You're the one's going to jail. You're trespassing by being here.
I have rent receipts. You're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Rent receipts from when?
You're going to jail.
From when did you have rent receipts? From when?
You want to see?
I know you haven't paid. In a long time. You haven't paid the full agreement.
You're going to jail.
Okay. So he's going through and he's destroying this door, which is his property, right? And he's saying he's doing this because the tenant did not pay rent. Well, I understand that, but that still doesn't give you the right to go in and kick down doors. There's the reason why there are laws and there's a process for you to go through this. You shouldn't do it this way, guys. Now, if we look at the video, we see here that there is a door here. If I can show you this freeze frame here, there's a door here, and then there's another door that looks like she built there. And that's what he's talking about, you're trespassing and all this other stuff. Well, let me give you guys a little lesson here. She's not trespassing because you allowed her to be there. She's renting from you. So even though she has not paid this guy his rent, she is not trespassing. You guys have an agreement in place and you have to go through the proper ways to evict her. And the proper way to evict her is not hacking down her door. Hacking down her door, telling her, get out, get out, get out. That's not the way to do it, guys.
This is not your place.
Mm.
It's a shared house.
Mm.
Yes, for your share of the house. For your share of the house. It's never a separate apartment.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
So now we get a clearer picture of what's actually going on. So these guys both shared a house, and her side is the side that you see here, him hacking down, and then he has another side. And she didn't pay him rent, so now he's saying, oh, you trespassed, when you gave her a portion of the home. He is saying, oh, you don't have rights to this portion of the home because you haven't paid me rent. But I can guarantee you she has a lease. Or some type of agreement with you saying that she can live there. Even though she hasn't paid rent, by law, she still has an obligation to that unit. You just can't go in and kick her out. But here's another lesson I want to talk about in this. You should not, guys. I know there's this big movement going around where you can rent out rooms, you can rent out all this stuff on Airbnb, but I can tell you it never works out. It never works out when you're renting a room, a space out in your primary residence, because the way you live is not the way that the tenant is going to live. I can almost guarantee you that. Your way that you live is not going to be the same way the tenant will live. So that's where the problems come into play. You start saying things like, clean this up, or they should do this, or they should do that. You need to be separated from that. Have your own personal property and rent out the others. That is the best way, because if not, when things get tight and tough, when things get tight and tough like this situation and the person hasn't paid your rent, you're going to be one knocking on their door. And things can get very tense in between landlord and tenant.
And who gave you permission to put this door in?
Now he's being petty.
Huh? Sandy told me it wasn't. This, it certainly wasn't screwed in shut.
Wow.
And how much you been paying for your share, which was supposed to be $900?
And what he doesn't understand is more than likely he will go to jail. That's just the truth. You can't go kicking in doors, knocking and threatening people with hammers and saying you need to get out and yelling. That is a recipe for disaster, guys. I understand his situation where he's mad that she didn't pay him his rent, and maybe she didn't. Maybe she did it. Maybe she's months and months and months behind and he's just so frustrated. But you can't do it this way, guys. Don't do it this way. Also, he's talking about who told you to put in this door. Did I give you permission to put in the door, as he's hacking down the door? That doesn't really give a lot of merit to his argument of putting down the door. You shouldn't have put this door in, so I'm going to jackhammer through it. Like the Kool-Aid man.
Oh yeah!
You know, you just can't do stuff like that. You can't.
He knows what he's doing too. Looking like a crazy man.
Now, just imagine, guys, something like this happening to your mom or your grandma or your sister or something like that. The way that he's approaching this is very threatening. It is very threatening. Like I said, I'm on the landlord side, right? I'm on the landlord side of things. And I understand when people don't pay you your money, you want your money. But I would never go to one of my tenants' house, kick down their door and say, pay me my money. You don't do that. So when you get hurt in a situation like that, where you kick down someone's door and say, give me my money, and it makes it seem like you're going to beat them up, you're knocking down their door with a hammer, knocking down their door, literally tearing your own property up because you haven't get paid your money and looking like a crazy man. Everything that you're trying to get goes out of the window. The policeman isn't going to care that she owes you rent. They're going to be mad because you are knocking down the door with a jackhammer or a hammer, that you're using a sledgehammer to get through a door that was locked. Your tenant still has rights to live in a domain, and you cannot knock down that door to get to them. You have to go through the eviction process.
Wow. He is ripping the frame off.
And the weird thing about it is he's cooling down, right? So he's not as mad as he was earlier, and it still hasn't resonated in his mind. This probably isn't a good idea. I shouldn't be putting my tenant in a threatening situation where I can get myself hurt. I can feel like I'm going to hurt her, or she may feel like I'm going to hurt her. This is just a bad situation. Maybe I should back off. No, what does he do? He's inspecting the damage that he's already done, looking at the studs and going, man, maybe this shouldn't have been here. What damage am I doing? This guy is nuts. This is who you don't want to rent from, guys. If your landlord is acting like this, move. Move. After you pay the man his money, get out of there. Get out of there, because a person like this with this type of mental mindset is probably gonna blow up again. And that's what you guys don't want. As a tenant, you don't want to deal with someone who's not even kill mentally wise. And this guy, I can tell he's not even kill. Knocking down the door, no one would do this in their right mind. No one.
Mm. Now he's getting more angry.
The agreement that I understand was to pay $900 a month. You haven't paid. You're down something like $6,000, $7,000.
Mm-hmm.
How can you justify staying here? How? I never.
Woo! Look, that's what I'm saying. It escalated, guys. It escalated. That is the issue with something like this. He is talking to himself in his head because he wants his money. So she's saying, you know, whatever excuse that she's giving him, saying that I didn't pay or I did pay or whatever it may be, he's working himself up and up and up. She's on the phone the entire time. Who is she speaking to? The police? Is she speaking to her sons? Is she speaking to someone that's going to come over there and try to handle the situation and escalate it even more? He doesn't know. And this is the reason why situations like this do not need to be had. And this is the reason why the eviction laws, the eviction process is set in place. Remember, guys, remember, if you're going through an eviction process, you want to follow all of the rules and laws so the tenant can get out safely and you can get back into your property, re-rent it out. When you're dealing with something like this, who knows how far this is going to set you back as a landlord? You're not going to probably be able to get your money because whatever damages that she probably will have felt from, you know, anxiety or whatever she goes and takes him to court against, she's probably going to win. Knocking down your tenant's door isn't the best way to get your money. It's not, guys. No, contrary to belief, that is not the best way to get your money. So I hope you got value out of this content. I'm gonna need you to watch this next video here. It will help you get into your first rental property and learn all things financial. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.